It's been 6 months and 20 days since Miami played for a national championship right here in Hard Rock Stadium. But just playing for the title is not enough for this proud program. Now, the Canes look to win the national championship, and it all starts at preseason practice. The ACC Huddle Special Miami Road Trip begins now. Welcome into the Coral Gables Indoor Practice Facility, where some familiar faces as well as some exciting new faces look to build on last year's breakthrough season. I am Andrea Adelson, joined by two of my favorite people, Eddie Royal, EJ Manuel. Guys, it's great to see you. Excited to be here. We're back.
Extremely excited to be here. I'm not going to lie. I knew that this team was going to be really good on paper, but just watching these guys practice for the first half hour since I've been in the building, I'm expecting a lot from these Hurricanes. It's been really exciting to see them.
I mean, it's intense. Yep. From the time you walk into the building to the end of practice. Like, it's been amazing just to see the professionalism that they're carrying themselves with. But, man, it's intense. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
That's the way Mario Cristobal likes it. All right, we have got a full show coming up for you guys as we get underway here in Miami. Mario Cristobal is going to join us on set. So is Duke transfer quarterback Darian Mensah, linebacker Mo Toure, and our own Eddie Royal is going to go to one-on-one with superstar receiver Malachi Toney. All right, let's take a look at some of Miami's biggest offseason storylines. The expectation, of course, is for Miami to win titles. This past season, they got back to the big stage for the first time since 2002-2003 and en route went 4-1 against AP top 10 teams. Big reason, of course, was their ability to fill the hole. Cam Ward left at quarterback with another great transfer in Carson Beck. Can they make it 3 times a charm with the addition of Darian Mensah now at Duke? And the emergence, of course, of Malachi Toney was a game changer. He led all FBS freshmen with more than 1,200 yards receiving and had 0 drops on the year. What does he have in store as a sophomore? So let's get started with our top storylines. EJ, what's yours?
So as I was thinking about this, I wanted to be creative. And we all live here in the South Florida area. Yeah. And we know that hurricane season is pretty much upon us, not just the football team, but also in real life. And my thing is, are the hurricanes here going to be a tropical storm or a Category 5? And let me explain. A tropical storm is one, you know it's coming, you're preparing for it. Yeah. It gets there, it's like, okay, it's not that bad. But the Category 5 is the one where you got to move. You got to move some furniture around. You got to put, wood on your windows, all those kinds of things. And from what I've seen, again, in this first half hour being here, this looks like a Category 5 kind of football team.
Okay. I like it. Mine is another year, another transfer quarterback, right? And for Miami, they've done a great job of building the trenches. You always got good offensive line, good defensive line play, and they've always been missing that quarterback. Where they go in, they get Darian Mensah, the best quarterback in the country, if you ask me. You throw him in, and now the fact that Miami is good in the trenches, when they get those skill positions going year in and year out, that's where Miami's really going to take that leap. But now they've been able to insert quarterbacks each year and be able to have success. When they get this recruiting going, then those skill guys can match the trenches. That's when Miami's really going to take off.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. And when you think about teams that compete for championships, it does start up front. Offensive line, defensive line. I think that's a really good spot for Miami to be in. Obviously, the quarterback. This is now a quarterback destination to come in and play. You think about the last 3 QBs here. Cam Ward, #1 overall pick. Yep. Carson Beck, who just had a fantastic start to his NFL career with the preseason game. And now Darian Mensah, who won an ACC last year. I mean, the sky's the limit in this offense under Shannon Dawson. I've always been a huge fan of the way that he coaches the position, too. Yeah.
I'm just going to go with the obvious, guys, and it's the trenches, because you guys alluded to it, but losing 4 starters on the offensive line, including a first-round pick in CC Maui-Noa, how does this group kind of gel and come together, especially early on in the season? And on the defensive front, they're going to be really good on the interior, but unproven at defensive end, where they lose Bain and Mesidor. They've got a lot of good players, but how are they going to rotate in and be able to replace 2 of their best players on the team?
Yeah, well, I would imagine the fact that they've in the room and saw those guys have success. You think about Lightfoot, and you bring in the young man from Missouri.
Yep, Damian Wilson.
So you got pieces that, of course, on paper, right? This is all on paper conversation here in training camp, but that's why you go out here and grind like you do in practice to make sure that is what shows up on the football field.
And also going against some of the best players you're going to play against in the country every day in practice. That's what's going to make them really good football team, is when you can have that challenge every day against practice, then that's how you get better. I mean, my best teams I've been on, we were really competitive in practice. I was going against an All-American on the other side. That made Saturdays easy.
That's right.
The Canes have steadily improved in every season under Mario Cristobal. Last year, Miami won its first postseason game since 2016. It actually won 3 on its way to a national championship game appearance. Only one step left to take up the hill for the Canes to reach the top, and that's a national title. And with that, we are so happy to see head coach Mario Cristobal here joining us on set. Mario, it's good to see you. Thanks for welcoming us in.
Welcome to Coral Gables. Welcome to Miami. Glad to have you guys here and hope you guys enjoyed your time watching practice today.
We definitely did. We see the talent, we see the depth, and one of the things that you've consistently said was you're challenging this team more than you ever have. When you say that, what do you mean? What do you want to see out of these guys when you present the challenges you have?
Well, I think you have to earn the right, the ability to cut it loose on game day, to play with a certain level of physicality and violence on the field. This resilience, being a callous football team that gets better as the game gets tougher. So you have to work at that. You can't preach it or just kind of show it in a meeting. And the heat index is what it is out here. We do spend a lot of time working both indoor and outdoor, but we're testing our guys with not only with play count, with situations, and with competition.
Coach, the atmosphere, the intensity of today, it felt like an NFL practice. Is that the secret to the success?
Well, again, we're getting better all the time, and I think like our DNA, our blueprint, what we hope to achieve it starts with us just shutting our mouths and practicing really, really hard, but also being really driven by performance, driven by making each other better, impacting others. But we want this thing to look and feel like game day. We feel it's the only way to get better is it's got to be full speed. It's got to be game speed every single day.
Who are the guys that are coming out here setting the tone every single day?
I'm not going to give any of them credit. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. So the one guy I'll say today that was out there just leveling people was Omar Thornton. Okay, I want to put that one out there. But aside from that, there's so much competition going on. And we told the players, this is not, we have quality depth. Get that statement out of your heads. You have competitive depth. If you trained all summer and you're a real competitor, you should be out there hunting for an opportunity, for a role, for being a starter, being a contributor. So we want to stay along that mindset. And we have a family barbecue today, so enjoy nice time. It's about to get intense in those meetings this afternoon. That's
now,
right.
Coach, I wanted to hit the offensive line because I know you're replacing some really good talented pieces. I know 2 guys went high in the draft. How do you evaluate a good and maybe a not so good day for your offensive line when you're trying to find out which guys are going to actually be out there playing come Saturdays?
No, it's a good question. I think in the passing game, you start with integrity of the pocket. I think oftentimes the sack is a misleading statistic. It's more quarterback hits, integrity of the pocket. Is the ball rushed out, right? Are you creating bad throws and making the quarterback uncomfortable? So that in the passing game is critical. The O-line, tight ends, and running back, and the quarterback getting the ball out. And then are we denting the line of scrimmage? Are you knocking people back? Are you making sure you're accounting for everybody and not allowing free hitters? If at the end of the day, people watch this play. If you get number 4 rolling, number 6 rolling, number 2, right? We've got 21, we got Pringle. Javion Mallory's doing great. If you get those guys rolling downhill and not allow free hitters, you got a chance to be really successful.
Coach, you talk about physicality so much. How many live periods will you do during camp?
The max that we're allowed to. Right. And we honestly, we don't. No one here tries to pat themselves on the back and feel, hey, we're doing this better. We don't. We believe and we have an obligation to these players and their families to get the absolute best out of them, and they're going to get that from us. We're going to go, brother. All right, we're going to go hard. We're going to go fast.
We've talked a lot about expectations throughout the course of this show. You're the preseason overwhelming favorite to win the ACC. A lot of people picking you to make it back to the CFP. What is your expectation for this team?
For us, is to be 1-0 every day in everything we do. You knew you were going to get the most boring answer. You knew that was coming.
I did.
For us, there's no value in preseason rankings, statistical predictions, all that kind of stuff. For us, what we got to do? Shut our mouths, go to work, and get better, and get rid of that intoxicating feeling of 9 months of praise. That's got to go because that has zero value, and I think the best way to do that is to practice our butts off out here.
Coach, I got one final one for you. Obviously, Malachi Tony.
You were your first offer, yes, at FIU.
FIU. Now, Malachi Tony obviously is a special player, so he's a one of one when I ask this question, but how do you know when a freshman is really able to handle it, able to kind of take the workload and then take it out into the actual practice field, and can kind of handle the moment of playing in these games?
You know, we have a high level of respect for our defense, and if you can be effective against this defense in practice with the full speed drills that we do, you could probably have a lot of success on game day. And I think the best part about what we see right now, we do see a lot of back and forth. Yeah. There's no complete butt kicking on one side and it stays that way. You do see a change and a shift in momentum throughout the course of practice. So, and to see Malachi Tony and Omar Thornton, 2 high school teammates, absolutely try to just take each other's heads off out there competitively within the rules on a play-by-play basis. It's a good indication we have a chance to be good.
Well, we've been heaping a lot of praise on you guys and looking forward to seeing.
Stop that.
No more. The rat poison.
The rat poison. Looking forward to seeing y'all play this year. Thanks for joining us, Mario. We appreciate it.
Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, and go Canes.
Sorry.
All right, coming up next, we are going to have a sit-down chat with Darian Mensah. Comes to Miami after winning an ACC championship at Duke last year. Can he lead the Canes to an ACC and possibly a national title? We'll find out after the break. Darian Mensah is now the Canes quarterback, transferring from Duke.
This guy is a gamer. The things that he brings to the table, I just can't wait to see it.
What a huge addition for the Hurricane offense.
The best quarterback in the ACC a year ago, and now he's with the best team in the ACC.
Welcome back to the ACC Huddle special, Miami road trip. Here we had a look at, there's Jackson Cantwell, the #1 recruit coming in, expected to start on the offensive line. Offensive line, a big storyline for the Canes as they replace 4 starters. And of course, the guy that they're going to be blocking for is joining us right now on set. It's Darian Mensah. Welcome, Darian. It's great to see you.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you as well.
So now that practice is underway, we had a chance to watch. You've got a lot of talent at the skill positions. Obviously, we know the running back position is loaded. How have you, as you kind of came in here and started to learn your teammates and this offense, kind of integrated yourself to feel as comfortable as you looked out here at practice today?
Yeah, I kind of just came out here, and I think the biggest emphasis to my own self was just to be myself and not do anything else but be myself. And I think the guys are very receptive to that. You know, the leaders on this team, I think Mark was a big help as far as just integrating me, as far as even off the field, just hanging out with the guys, because I think that's the best way to connect with your teammates. So just being myself.
What are y'all doing? Are y'all gamers? What's the?
Yeah, we'll play the game.
Hang out?
A lot of the times we'll go out to eat. That's kind of the way I like to bond with my teammates, break bread with them. So that's what we do a lot of the time.
So you come here, you got all these weapons. People would assume it'd be easy, just dink and dunk. I'm watching practice. It's not easy. How would you describe the practice atmosphere here?
Just intense. We are going at it. It's truly an iron sharpens iron mentality out there on the field, because our defense is extremely talented as well. So just knowing that you can't win them all, and not getting frustrated out there is kind of my approach with it. But I'm competitive as it gets. I'm trying to go out there and score every drive. But I just know that we're getting that much better each and every day.
Darren, how has your relationship grown with your offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson?
It's been awesome. When I first came down here, we had a little spark. He's a great dude, great coach, and he just has a professional approach to coaching that I really appreciate. And I've said this over and over, I feel like, but he does a great job of meshing the offense around the quarterback rather than trying to fit the quarterback in a certain type of offense. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that as well.
So with that being said, as far as the language, I think that's usually the biggest learning curve for any quarterback going to another system, or at least another play caller. Have you brought over maybe some things you've done in the past and maybe named it the same way, just so you have some of that onboarding and it's a little bit quicker for you, or you just call it what Miami calls it?
No, I definitely have. I've been through 3 offenses now, so the stuff that I really like to do is the stuff that we'll do this year, especially this last year. I feel like I excelled in the past game, and so definitely taking some concepts that I ran last year and then integrating in here. But I think a lot of the stuff that we did last year is stuff that I like to do, and it's more similar to the stuff I did at Tulane as well. So a little bit of both.
Off camera, we were talking to Shannon Dawson about your ability to hit the deep ball, and that's something you've been able to do throughout the course of your career. I know that's something Miami would like to add into the offense. Maybe that's a little bit different than last season. But in terms of your ability to throw that ball, like what has gone into being able to do it at the clip that you're able to do it?
Well, I think just taking what the defense gives you. Like if you do get a one-on-one opportunity, obviously I'm going to take that. But just having the ability to see when it's not there and checking it down to your back, like you were just talking about, is definitely important too. Because I think that's what goes into shooting at a high clip as far as deep balls go.
Well, Darren, we just had Michael Irvin on. We had Ed Reed walking around. Like, what's it like being the Canes quarterback? How's that experience been for you so far?
It's awesome. It's a true blessing to be around all these legends. They're just walking around, and they're all extremely helpful as well. Like they're not just here to watch and be here. Like they're all giving us game, and I think that's the most important thing when it comes to the Hurricanes. It's like this is a true family, and it really does feel like that.
Was it anybody in particular you were excited to meet?
Edgerrin James. I played against his son in basketball, and he was a stud. I think he went to Cincinnati, but I met him at Prime 112 on my visit, and we had a great conversation. Good people, and obviously a great player as well. So.
Well, one day you will be among them watching, but not yet, not yet. We look forward to seeing you play this year and what y'all do for the Canes. Thanks so much, Darian. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Miami has a high bar at quarterback after having Cam Ward and Carson Beck the last 2 seasons, but Darian Mensah is poised to fill their shoes. Mensah was in the top 2 in FBS last season in passing yards and touchdowns while at Duke. Now comes to Miami with all sorts of expectations. That's the theme for our conversation today is expectations. EJ, based on watching Darian last year in the Duke offense, what we know of what Shannon Dawson likes to do here at Miami, what is your expectation for Darian here?
Well, it's to continue to be explosive, but also to continue to take care of the football. That doesn't get talked about enough. 34 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions, and that's a big reason why Duke was able to finish as the ACC champ. But when you watch Darian play, his processing is excellent. He's patient, and even watching him bounce around here in some of the earlier drills of practice, he's never in a hurry. He's never in a rush. And now you mix that with Shannon Dawson, who has proven that he can really develop and also get the best out of whatever quarterbacks in this offense. I'm expecting fireworks.
Yeah, the thing for me is that he was able to have that type of success at Duke and he's going to be surrounded by even more playmakers now. And so I expect a similar style of offense, still taking shots down the field. But these little catch and runs that you saw at Duke, there's going to be more home runs because of the type of athletes that they have on the outside. But to protect this offensive line, I'm expecting a heavy dose of running the football early on, though. I know that the big get in the portal was Darian Mensah, but you got one of the best backs in the country in Mark Fletcher. So don't be worried if you don't see Mensah throwing for 400 yards the first couple of weeks. They're working this offensive line together, trying to get that gel, and then later on in the season is when he'll take off.
Well, I want to add quickly, too, to the running back conversation. They also got Shamar Brown back and Gerard Pringle. So your 3 top rushers from
Jordan
last
Lyle.
season.
Jordan Lyle.
I mean, you got the whole slew of running backs to hand the ball off as well, so that also takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback.
And the fact that you have your best friend and Cooper Barkate there with you as well. Like that, when you bring him over, that's instant connection right there with a guy that you could trust on third downs, let alone having Malachi Toney running around in the slot. For me, I do really want to see how they're going to use Malachi because year one was amazing and you can't top that. But you got to move him around. But Cooper Barkate's going to be great for them because all eyes can't be on Malachi. Because if you're paying too much attention to Malachi, Cooper Barkate will hurt you down the field.
When Shannon Dawson talked earlier this week about needing to do different things with Mally because everybody is going to be so keyed on him. They've had that conversation like you're going to have to do a bunch of different things because everybody knows what to expect. But EJ says fireworks, you say explosiveness. And I want to mention this stat because they had so many explosive plays because of Malachi Toney on passes that were 5 yards and then he takes at the distance. They weren't as good on explosive plays down the field, basically middle of the road in the entire country. So they have added receivers who can give them those home run threats down the field, and Cam Bond, Dre Jacobs are 2 guys to watch for there. So when you can add that now to your arsenal on offense, it makes you much harder to defend.
And Andrew, that's such a great point, but when you think about the down in and down outs of a football game, explosives come, but the teams who I think are the best or most dangerous offenses are the one that can consistently matriculate the football down the field and hit a check down or hit a crossing route to Malachi Tony that ends up being a 15-yard game. And then you're in 3rd and 9 situations, 3rd and 8, and you still find a way to convert and then being able to run the football. I think the run the football piece, to me, Eddie, like you mentioned, that's the difference if this team can win a championship or just get close again like they did last year. Because if you think about that run, they were running the football. Yep. Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Ohio State, they were toting the rock, and a lot of that was Mark Fletcher, but also the other 2 running backs got in the mix as well.
It's like, don't get bored doing the little things.
That's right.
But because you're going to win a lot of games and win by a lot early on, but you can't get bored, like you said, taking that check down, making the right read, making the right football play.
That's right.
That's how you win championships. There's nothing special about it. You just got to continue to do the little things the right way.
Yeah, and we just talked about the offensive line. This is going to be a brand new look for this Miami offensive line, losing 4 starters from a year ago, and now you have the #1 recruit in the country in Jackson Cantwell that we're all talking about. He's going to start at one of the tackle positions. Samson Okunlola, who's really come into his own after having a great year last year. Ryan Rodriguez, Max Buchanan, Matt McCoy, the only starter who's coming back. You had a chance, EJ, to talk to Alex Mirabal about all these changes on the offensive line. Let's take a listen.
All right, guys. Hey, I'm over here with offensive line coach Alex Mirabal, working on some drills right here. Just a little bit of a warm-up opportunity to get the blood flowing here for some of the guys. I'm going to jump in real fast and try to get in with Coach Mirabal. I know he's working right now. Let's get out of the way. Let's get out of the way. Let's get out of the way. By the way, I'm a big man, and these are very, very big men. Let's see what we have here.
Pablo.
Got center and left tackle here working. Some steps, some sets, hand placement on the inside. Coach Mirabal, I'm going to jump in real quick. So what exactly are we working on here in this drill?
Just different types of angles in pass protection.
Okay.
So right here, we're working more of our short set stuff, our jump set stuff kind of deal. So that's what we're working, and just a different variety of types.
Now, as far as this being basically the beginning of practice, Coach, this is how you warm up every day to get these guys blood flowing?
Every day. So we'll do our pre-practice stuff, is our pass protection stuff, and then we'll also do pass protection during special teams, and then during the indie portion of practice that Coach Cristobal allots to us, we'll do our run game stuff.
Gotcha. Now, one more, Coach. I know you got to get going. I know you like to have guys, you say the best 5 that's going to play offensive line. Absolutely. Do you put them at different spots, like a tackle, guard, center? You kind of just allow them to fill different spots?
You know how it is, EJ. Right now, nowadays, like in our room, we've got 19 guys. Out of the 19, 16 of them were high school tackles, right? So then you just kind of move them around. How do they best fit that puzzle? But really what we do, most guys do now in college football, is they're playing with 4 tackles and 1 center. Right. So that's typically what we do. And in the pre-summer stuff and in the pre-spring stuff, we cross-train all our guys. So they play right side, left side, guard and tackle, so that, hopefully they get an opportunity at the next level, and when they do, they're prepared if a coach moves them around.
Amazing value, Coach. Appreciate you, man. Have a great day, okay? Yes, sir. You got it. All right, guys, back to you.
Great stuff from EJ and Coach Mirabal, and we've got more great stuff coming up after the break. Mo Toure, he is returning for his 8th season of college football. It's not just a good story, he's a great player, preseason first-team All-ACC. Stay tuned. Now we're back in Miami as part of our road trip, and Jason Taylor working hard with the defensive ends. As we know, there's going to be a bunch of new guys who are going to be taking their start turn on this defense, replacing Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. But one of the stalwarts for this Miami defense is back, and he is joining us. It's Mo Toure, back for your 8th season playing college football. Mo, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
All right, you are the veteran of this group. You know what it looks like. You know how it's supposed to look. How is this unit coming together now when you're replacing a few of your key guys from a season ago?
We're coming together well. Everybody's putting it together, just taking it one day at a time. We got, like you said, we got a lot of new guys and just working to communicate together, just playing fast together, playing physical together, and just becoming one as a defense. Every year a defense takes on a new identity, so just learning our identity right now while we go through camp.
This was your first real offseason healthy, right?
Yeah.
So what did you spend it working on? What was the main thing that you wanted to get better at coming into camp?
taking care of my body and just my mobility. I feel like I've been in the game a long time and I understand the game mentally. So just continue to grow that aspect, but just really just taking care of my body. Like that's been kind of the thing for me my whole career. I've been hurt a lot, you know. So just making sure I'm on top of it and I can play 100% like myself.
Now, Mo, as a leader on this football team, what has been the emphasis to make sure the younger guys who maybe were part of last year's success but don't necessarily know how hard it is to get back to that moment, what's been your emphasis as far as leadership to those guys, making sure they're staying locked in?
To understand that last year was last year. Like last year's success doesn't roll over to this year's success. Like we have to come in every single day, take it one day at a time, and just to keep attacking and getting better every single day. Like what we did last year, your stats from last season, this is a whole new season. Like they don't like your picks from last season don't roll over to this season. Your tackles from last season don't roll over. So just continuing to just push that message, pushing the 1-0 message that Coach Cristobal preached to us.
Now, last year's defense was good, right? I mean, I was pretty good. Where do you feel like this defense can be even better?
I feel like we're different from last year's defense, but in a good way. Like last year, we had Ruben Bain, we had Akeem Mesidor, we had Keontae Scott, Jacoby Thomas. We had elite players all across the board, and we lost a lot of those guys. But a lot of those spots that were replaced, they were replaced by guys that worked with Akeem Mesidor, that worked with Ruben Bain, that worked with Keontae, that worked with Jacoby. You know, so they got to get the game from those guys and see how they attack the game, not just physically but mentally.
Got to ask about the linebacker group. Wesley Basaint is gone, but Chase Smith has just stepped in, really popped today out at practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you just describe his ability now to step into that role starting next to you, but also some of the younger guys you're hoping step up this year?
Oh, yeah, I love Chase. Chase has took so many, big steps. Like, he's grown so much since I first got here, and he's continuing to grow. Like, he's a freak. He's a freak, 6'4", 240, 245, and he can move sideline to sideline. He's fast, he's physical, and he helps me with my younger guys. He helps me lead them, he helps me teach them. In the meeting rooms, you know, we keep our guys on point, and we got some young guys as dogs. You got Bobby Pruitt, Kellen Wiley, Ezekiel Margellin, and even the guys that just came in, the young freshmen. We got J.J. Edwards, we got Jordan Campbell, we got Karsten Bush. Like, we got dogs all across the board from young to old. So it's like, either way you put it, we just trying to get them together, get them to understand the playbook, get them to play fast, play physical, and just whatever you're doing, just go hard.
All right, we appreciate the time, Mo. Can't wait to see y'all play this year. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
This Miami defense have been fantastic. Picked on by the freshman Fitzgerald.
This pass rush has become furious. The Canes are all over him. Another run goes nowhere. Ahmad Moten. It's a Miami manhandling tonight. And they're swimming right on cue.
Intercepted! Picked off again by Bryce Fitzgerald.
That is a beautiful thing to watch.
That Miami defense became the story of the season as the Canes made their playoff run. Those performances against A&M, Ohio State, what they did against Ole Miss, guys. They lost some key pieces. We all know that. Where do you think Miami picks up in year 2 under Corey Heatherman?
Well, look, I think they'll be fine because you mentioned Corey Heatherman. One, the retention of Corey Heatherman was huge. I mean, he had a great season. I'm sure he got opportunities to go somewhere else, whether he was a head coach or a D coordinator, but he stays. And now the system is already in place. The guys who are behind Bain and Mesidor have had an opportunity to know what it takes, and especially not just being a first-round draft pick, but also being a champion, being somebody that can get to that point. Jason Taylor, you know, it was funny, we're walking around and just seeing him get after the guys, especially guys who are big names, right? You think about Ahmad Moten, some of those pieces coming back. Justin Scott, we talked about him. So I'm expecting maybe not the high-end sack amount, but just the ability to stop the run and then still get after the passer as well.
Yeah, Damian Wilson coming over from Missouri, that's going to be big for them because he's got to be a guy that takes the place of getting there on third down. He's the one that I'm looking at. He's got to have an impact. Mo Toure, he's got to be that leader, the vocal guy in the middle of that defense, getting everybody lined up. That's what I was really impressed with year 1 in this defense is the communication. You didn't see a lot of people out of position or giving up big plays because of lack of communication. So that guy deserves a lot of credit right there. But for me, this year isn't going to be about the front. It's really going to be about the back end. I believe this secondary is going to be special, and to the point to where you could play man-to-man coverage more than they did last year. And you can disguise things, but when you can play man-to-man, that allows the front to be able to do some different things. You could do some different blitzes and disguise a little bit more, but they're going to have the guys that could cover these receivers on the outside throughout any team that they play.
They're stacked in the secondary when you look at who they bring back. The big question is Keontae Scott and his loss. And they brought in Omar Thornton from Boston College, who the coaching staff has absolutely raved about. But Keontae Scott did so many different things for them in that defensive secondary. You wonder how that gets replaced immediately, whether it is just Omar Thornton, where they bring in a couple of guys who can do what Keontae did. But this is one of Mario Cristobal's favorite players all time, Keontae Scott. So that, to me, maybe even a bigger question mark than what happens up front.
Yeah, but you look at the production that Thornton had at BC. He had over 80 tackles last year. So one thing that Keontae Scott did, of course, he could, cover tight ends and slot receivers, but he also got after the ball carrier, So I think the big thing, like Eddie was saying, is these guys have the mentality. Another player that came back, O.J. Frederick. I feel like we've been saying his name for the past 2 years. I know he played a lot as a freshman, played really well last year as a sophomore, and now this is going to be his third year where I'm sure he's going to continue to bloom. But, yeah, this is probably maybe one of the best secondaries they've had here at Miami under Coach Cristobal.
And the key to me is that they're long.
Yeah.
Like, you get out there and you see they got some guys that are 6'2", over 6 foot with long arms, and that's intimidating to a receiving core. When you get out there, you already know the nostalgia of Miami, and you just see the U on the helmet, but then you got these big, tall receivers playing press coverage every single play. That makes it hard. So the size component, but also the ball skills. A guy like Bryce Fitzgerald having 6 interceptions his freshman year, he's going to be even better this year.
Yeah, I'm so glad we spotlighted him because he's going to be a huge key for this defense. All right, coming up, Eddie, you went one-on-one with Malachi Toney. Looking forward to seeing what y'all learned from talking to him and how much better he's going to be going into year 2. Stay tuned. It's Alumni Day today in Coral Gables, and the names don't get much better than AP all-time All-American safety Ed Reed. He was part of Miami's last national championship team in 2001 and is maybe the greatest to ever play the position. But you know what? We've got another Miami Cane, who's also among the greatest to ever play, the greatest to play his position. That's the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Michael, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for having me. And Ed Reed is a special dude all the way around.
So are you, and we're so thrilled that you're here. There's, I think, over 300 alumni and family here. You have been so present throughout Mario Cristobal coming back, the playoff run last year. We see you living and dying with every play on the sideline. Just what is it like to be a part of this Miami alumni family?
Well, first of all, we've always been all about family. I mean, and that's what we've always talked. And what's great is to have one of us, and Coach Cristobal, come back to instill all of us again back in the program. I mean, he's just done such an incredible job. And all he thinks about, I'm telling you, the dude is monomaniacal about we are going to get better and win. That's all he talks. So he's a great coach, and he's the perfect man for what we needed when we got him.
So, Mike, I think you're the perfect person to answer this question because you've won Super Bowls, you've won national championships, you won at the highest level. You know how and what it takes to win a championship. How does this current Miami team get over that hump, make it to the championship round last year, but how do you go and get the whole thing this year?
Well, it's about the work we put in out here, and that's what Coach talks about. It's about getting better each and every day. It's hard to get to the place where you felt like, okay, you climbed the mountain now. For so many years around here, we talked about getting back on top of the mountain. They did that last year, put a flag in the ground. As hard as it is to climb that mountain, it's twice as hard to stay up there. Because one thing climbing, nobody sees you coming. When you're up there with a flag, everybody's aiming for you. So it's about taking each week, 1 week at a time, and taking care of your business in front of you, and the rest will take care of itself. That's what Coach is talking, and he's talking it so much we repeating it in interviews, even me.
Yeah. Right. But individually, you got a guy like Malachi Toney who had a heck of a freshman year. Now this year, all eyes are on him. What would you tell him?
Well, listen, there's nothing I need to tell Malachi Toney. What I needed was a Malachi Toney to tell young Michael something. You see what I'm saying? This dude, this dude is so mature. He's so right. He is the perfect person for the position. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about just the position of wide receiver. I'm talking about the position he holds, the way people love him, the way he handles people. This dude is perfect, man. I joke, but I'm not joking. I mean, he's as mature as any grown man is right now. We have this is not what old Miami used to be. All of us come from the ghettos, the hells of these countries, the hellhole areas. These kids are different. These are some great dudes, man. Malachi, Tony. Speaking of Ed, right there.
Ed coming in for a sack.
Hey, Mark Fletcher. We got some of the greatest dudes in the world on this team. Great football players and great people. And that's what they got to know about Miami. Stop talking about that old stuff. This new stuff, we up here. Yeah. These are kids that stand on our ceiling and make it their floor. Hey, you know, we ain't doing that. And we like, not just good on the field, they good, wholesome people.
Yeah.
A lot of us crazy people before, but these are good, hosts, great people, and we're happy to have them.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned Mark Fletcher, and we have to ask about your production group, Playmaker Production Group, and the new show, Fetching Fletchers. Mark's mom drove 17,000 miles to watch him play last year. Now you're launching a series where we're going to be following her in her RV. Tell us a little bit more about that.
And speaking of great people, you know, this whole experience, you know, I look over the great experiences I had here at the University of Miami and that we had. But what we never had was a mom's group like they have here. When I tell you these are good people and great young men to be around and great young men to work with, it's because they keep that mom group so close to them. And I just want to do everything I can to help enhance that. We didn't have an opportunity to have that, but we have it now. And we have people that can help it as much as we can now. And putting this on Front Street and letting people see what she does. This is not something we're creating. This is who she is. So it's a real life story about real people. And that was the whole reason I wanted to get into this side of TV, where you can bring real life stories to people for inspiration and motivation. And she is a true life inspiration.
She really is, and I'm so happy you guys are spotlighting her and featuring that. And of course, we are so thrilled we had a chance to talk to you for a few minutes here. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great season.
Absolutely. All right. Well, there is a guy that we just talked about who hopes to be remembered as a Hurricanes legend, and that's Malachi Tony.
He is must-see TV, one of the best wide receivers we've seen 2025. One-handed catch, what a catch by the freshman. He's a former high school quarterback. There's the evidence, complete. Malachi, magic in full effect.
Tony off and running. Malachi Tony, he doesn't lose foot races. Hand off Tony, 10, 5, into the end zone. Touchdown Miami. Is there a more exciting player in this sport?
Malachi had a monster season in 2025, setting Miami's single-season records with 109 receptions and over 1,200 receiving yards. He also reached double figures in touchdowns, tied for fourth most in program history. Here's Eddie with Malachi.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Here's my man Malachi Tony. My man. First, let me start with the work ethic, right? I see you 5:30 in the morning. I see you diving for passes in practice. Where does that come from?
Just come from deep down inside, knowing what's at stake for you, how much you put in, and like what you want your outcome to be.
You say deep down inside. Give me a little bit more. Is that from growing up, your childhood? What is that deep down inside? What's your why?
My why, I'll say it's just my family. And now that I'm at Miami, I would say the city, like the city rooting for me. But it's more so of my family and just knowing what's at stake for me.
How's your life changed, right? Last year, people knew about you around here, but not nationally. Now everybody knows you on the cover of college football. How's that been for you?
My life changed tremendously, man. On the field and off the field. Coming to practice, like you got a group of people just there for you. People wouldn't know how I feel until they're in the shoes of that person. Like just people coming to practice, a group for you. Off the field, you can't even go to the store, the gas station, without somebody noticing you, even if you got a hoodie on or something like that. But it's been a blessing, I'll say that for sure.
Who's been there to help you through this journey?
Besides God, I'll say my mom, of course, my brother, Coach Varner, Coach KB, those guys really. Yeah, they helped me a lot.
I see the number change. What was the reason for it? Give me the background on that.
Really, because There was a lot of thought going into it because people was like, why not stay in 10? Because you done did so much in it. But I'm like, man, it's a new season. I'm the one, so why not change the one?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Give me some goals. What are your individual goals for this year?
Individual goals, national championship, ACC championship, stuff like that.
All right, last one for me. How's it been playing with Darian Mensah?
I love that man. I love Darian. We be getting better each and every day after practice, making sure our time is straight, watching little stuff on tape, just stuff we'll see that coaches want off the field.
Yeah, my man. Well, I appreciate you, bro. Best of luck to you this year.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Eddie and Malachi. Don't forget, you can catch EJ and Roddy Jones weekly on the ACC Network Football Podcast. They'll recap each week's action, look ahead to the upcoming weekend, and has some great guests. The show returns to your podcast feed and ACC Network on August 26th. All right, when we come back, we wrap up the show from Miami by breaking down the Hurricane schedule. Remember how vital that win over Notre Dame was last season? Yeah, they play again this year, only up in South Bend. We'll talk schedule after the break. Coral Gables. All right, after all of last season's success, Miami still has high expectations in 2026. The Canes were the overwhelming pick by the media to win the ACC this season. Reminder, they've never won the ACC since joining in 2004. Miami was picked first in 165 of 188 media voters. The All-State playoff predictor also loves Miami, giving it a 63% chance to reach the CFP for the second straight season, the sixth highest chances by any FBS team. And all those expectations fall on the quarterback. Darian Mensah was picked as the ACC preseason player of the year, coming to Miami Gardens from Duke. Mensah, one of 7 Canes picked preseason All-ACC. Here are those preseason All-ACC selections, led by Mensah as player of the year. Mark Fletcher Jr., Mally Toney will be key skill players. Don't forget Cooper Barkate, Mensah's favorite target at Duke last year. Reese Davis caught up with Mario Cristobal and asked how all the success has changed how he is perceived as a head coach.
And the Miami Hurricanes head home to play for a championship.
How do you think you are perceived differently as a head coach after last season, after what you guys accomplished? I mean, you're 2 plays, a drive, a throw away from winning the national championship.
I think everyone always recognized what Miami can be, but I think it's been growing. You know, the trajectory's been steadily going up, and I think last year was a major breakthrough.
You didn't say anything about you.
Oh, I couldn't care any less about that kind of stuff.
You can catch Reese Davis' full conversation with Mario Cristobal as well as other coaches across the country on Official Visit, hosted by Reese Davis. The show debuts Monday at 8 Eastern on ESPN2. We've talked a lot about the returning players. Now let's take a look at some key newcomers for the Canes. J.J. Dunnigan at safety, another guy that coaches have raved about. He should see some time in that loaded secondary. Dre Jacobs and Cam Vaughn. Huge additions to the receiver group, and so is Samorian Wingo, another true freshman that turned heads as soon as he got onto campus in January. Of that list, guys, who stands out to you, EJ?
Well, Gavin Mueller as well. I know Elijah Lofton is the probably tight end 1 in this offense coming back from last year, but Gavin Mueller, everything I've read, everything I've seen online, he's going to be a piece of this offense. You would imagine they're going to have some 12 personnel, which is 1 running back, 2 tight end sets, especially where they're going to run the football. So now that you have somebody who's going to come in as a true freshman, had a really great spring, show that he can block, which is extremely important as that second tight end as well. Expect a big year from Mueller too.
And I'm looking at Dre Jacobs and Cam Vaughn, 2 guys that could really stretch the field and help Darian Mensah with that deep ball, because if you look at the offense last year, that's really what they were missing. Like, they didn't have the speed to attack down the field deep, and the other guy on that list is Omar Thornton. Like, he stood out to me on tape. I just watched him last night, actually, and the Keontae Scott, he's going to be playing that role, but then he brings the hitting of a Jacoby Thomas and that attitude that this Miami defense needs, so he's going to play a key role in that defense this year.
All right, let's take a look at Miami's schedule. They're going to start on a Friday night at Stanford. This is a nice way, I think, for the offensive line that's being retooled to kind of ease into the schedule. They don't start right away against Notre Dame the way that they did last year. They don't have Florida early on. They've got Florida A&M at Wake Forest, Central Michigan before that big game at Clemson, and then their open date. When you look at the schedule, when we look at who Miami's bringing back, when we look at Miami's key additions, everything that we've talked about, are there any concerns for you guys about this team as we head into the season?
Well, naturally, the biggest concern for every team is what's the depth like? What do you have as a second and third string guy? And I think that's an area where Coach Cristobal has checked a lot of boxes in his staff this offseason, making sure not just the high school additions, but the transfer portal additions. Every transfer player doesn't need to be a star. Like, they can also be a guy that can help with the role. But obviously, the earlier portion of the season will allow this offense to gel, and certainly with the defense too. But I think the ACC schedules, where they'll still be challenged. I mean, you can look at this schedule and say, it's not that tough. There's still going to be some teams that are also going to get better throughout the year that are going to challenge and push Miami.
The scary part for me is the linebacker position, the depth there, and also at the tight end spot. But outside of that, it's not many holes on this team. In the schedule, you got to be good on the road. You got at Clemson and at Notre Dame. And they get a couple games to warm up and really get an understanding of who they are, who they want to be. Yes, we all think we know their identity, but they got to figure it out on the field. So they get a couple warm-up games there. But to be honest, there's nobody on that schedule that's going to be a more talented team than Miami. So they got to do the little things, do all the small things to win football games, because there's nobody on that schedule that should be able to beat them.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump ahead to Notre Dame because they may have either an equal amount or slightly more talent than Miami, depending on whatever your perspective is. That game is in November, so I know it's one game at a time. But Notre Dame players have already talked about this game being circled on the schedule because they know that's the game that kept them out of the playoff last year, and we know what happened after that. They skipped the bowl game and all of this good stuff. When you look at that matchup, in November, going on the road, South Bend, Notre Dame's going to be one of the preseason favorites to be playing for a national championship. What are your early thoughts about how that game may play out? I know.
I love that you
Everyone
laughing
wants
too.
to talk about Notre Dame.
I look at it as a great opportunity for Miami, right? You go on the road, you're going to be road warriors at that point. It is cold and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be talked about. They come from South Florida. It's up there in South Bend. It's going to be, and they won't worry about that. I think Miami, again, especially at that point in the year, they're going to have so many reps under their belt and so much good and then also so much bad, because really you only learn from the struggles. You only really learn from some of the things that you have some issues with throughout the year. And as long as you can still find ways to win games while still learning, I think they'll be fine. But it's going to be a great matchup. Two great quarterbacks, too. Yes. C.J. Carr, Darian Mensah. That's going to be an amazing duel I want to see.
It's going to be a Heisman moment for somebody.
Yep,
right?
somebody.
Yeah,
yep.
It could be C.J. Carr. It could be Darian Mensah. It could be Malachi Tony.
Yep.
And so that's going to make it exciting. But if Notre Dame's already thinking about Miami, they've
got
already
problems.
lost.
Yeah, I was going to say, you shouldn't
be
thinking about that deep down the road.
Right. The fact that we know that Miami is locked in, they're not even thinking about game one. They're thinking about this practice, this day. That's how you win. That's the mentality that you need. That's pretty much why I laughed, because I knew. I said, okay, they're thinking that way. You already lost.
That's right. I'm sure Miami already has that bulletin board material ready to go now in August.
With a coach like Coach Cristobal, he's not going to let these guys slough off anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the intensity, like Eddie talked about earlier in the show. They'll be ready.
Well, I know he's got his Catholics versus Convicts T-shirt also in his closet ready to go. Before you guys go there, what are your final thoughts from here in Miami?
My biggest thoughts really is this team is loaded again. I think on paper, obviously, they have all the talent, but also just talking to some of the players, talking to some of the coaches, the mindset is here in Miami, and I think this is going to be a really successful season for these guys.
Yeah, just good people, right?
Yeah.
Not only good football players, but good people. They get it. They understand the right way to treat people on and off the field. And so I love the intensity of practice, because you can see how good a team's going to be by the way that they practice. Right. And Miami does it the right way.
When you're in a position where you can reload and not rebuild, it's a great spot to be. That's exactly where Miami is right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You crushed it, by the way.
I did? Did I crush it?
This is
okay, host?
You did a great job.
You did a great job. For EJ Manuel and Eddie Royal, I am Andrea Adelson. The road trip rolls on Monday from Cal.